It's August, and after several long weeks of scorching sunny weather, the rain arrives, a welcome sight for farmers across the country. Near Dundonald on the outskirts of Belfast, Tony Johnston's trees have coped well, despite the lack of water.
Rain has been so welcome here, and it's really been the right sort of rain, and it's been fairly steady. We've had good growth, and the trees have recovered. The trees where some of them were looking a bit floppy and a bit limp were starting to dry out, so they've all, the last 2 or 3 weeks of rain now, have recovered very quickly.
August is a key month in Tony's farming year. It's time for him to select Christmas trees for harvest in November.
What we're doing now is grading our trees and tagging them for sale. And it allows us to see what we've got audit-wise and how many of each size and of each grade. And it also means that when we come to harvest, we know we need a set number of whichever size and grade that we're looking for. We can go straight out and harvest that tag in particular. We're grading for the quality of the tree, and we're also then looking at the heights. So the heights are set in 25 centimetre increments. So here we have 150, that's 175, there's 200, 225, and then 225 and above. So 200 equates to about a 7-foot tree. The blue tags would be about a 6'6" tree, and the purple tags would then be sort of 5 to 6 foot tree. The industry standard is all done in metric because it's a European standard. We have to follow that. Then when we're grading, if the tree is a perfect tree, doesn't have any faults, then it would be a first grade tree. And normally that's maybe 15 or 20% of our crop. The rest, the balance, would be coming in at your standard grade tree. Now, a standard grade tree is still a good tree, but it just isn't 100%. When it comes to grading, we can be quite fussy. I can be a wee bit pedantic. And this tree just beside us here, what's at the top is a really nice tree. And if you look at it, I would maybe say this is graded as a first grade tree. But then you step back and you look at it, and this bit down at the side just isn't fully formed. And it's a wee bit the same at the other side. So in my eyes, this tree is downgraded. This isn't a perfect tree. From this angle, yes. But there's wee niggles that I will see that other people wouldn't necessarily spot at all. A tree like this, it could vary in price anywhere between 35 to 45, 50 pounds, depending on where you want to go. The tree behind it, to the side here, we would probably maybe look at sell that tree at 40 pounds. The trade values tend to be fairly steady across Europe because it's a European market and everybody's competing, so it should be a like-for-like sale price, really depending just on the quality that year. But the trade value, much like any other farmer, is significantly lower than the retail price, and it can be really soul destroying for a grower to have spent years growing a tree and get a trade price for that tree and then see that tree being sold for 2 or 3 times more the next day. And we'll have spent 10 years on that tree, and the retailer will have spent 10 minutes on the tree. But much the same as any farmer, you sell your product, and it's up to whoever buys your product to get however much money they can get for it, and you can't resent them for that, unfortunately.
Tony's hopeful he might have new customers as drought has hit crops across Europe.
We're starting to see we've had a couple of inquiries from the south of England. South of England has suffered a bit more than the north of England and Scotland and Ireland. And so they're looking at topping up their shortages, so they're looking west. Traditionally, they maybe would have looked to Central Europe. They would have looked to Denmark, Northern Germany to fill in any of the gaps. And because they're struggling to meet their own demand, the Southern English growers and buyers are then maybe looking to see what they can get from us. They're growing quite specific at the moment, quite species specific. But I suspect as the market settles down, sort of September, October, we could see a bit more movement.